Coach Karabo, a 2-all draw here at home, perhaps a game that you should have wrapped up a bit early, but it ends in a draw. What is your overall assessment?
Yeah, truly a game of two halves, if there's such. The game is 90 minutes, obviously there's two halves, but the first half performance, I think, was extremely poor. The opponent started very slow. In the first 10-15 minutes, we did not punish them. We had already 2 good chances in that time, and we did not punish. And then I warned against it. And true to form, they scored their first goal. But second half, made a few changes. You know, the Saturday, Wednesday games are also an issue because the recovery period from Wednesday to Saturday is very short. Unlike the Saturday to Wednesday one, it's got 4 days, I think, while this one has got only 2 days. And you could see that our guys were a little bit rusty in the first half, and that's why we made those changes in the second half. And the guys who came in really affected the game. They really did well. They did exactly what we want, and put the opponent on the back foot. We should have scored a lot of goals. Fair enough, they had a couple of chances from their crosses from the left, especially going towards our far post. And yeah, we just failed to deal with that ball. They pinned us with 2 strikers, so that our centre backs cannot header cleanly. They cannot header the ball cleanly, so it always fell on the back post. But even then, when we had a structural change to try and address that, they got the goal. But yeah, the game that I think, on the balance of things, if we had put in the 2 or 3 goals that we did not score, yeah, I think we would have changed the trajectory of the game. They would have pushed more numbers if we scored that goal. They would have pushed more numbers and left basically their last line with less numbers. But I'll accept the result as it is. It's not a loss, it's at home. I would have liked 3 points. I mean, they scored in the last 30 seconds of the game, practically. It just tells you of this fatigue element. But I can be sad, but there's a lot of positives to come out from this match. We just need to fine-tune from those positives, and I think we'll come right. And the guys are adjusting very well from regional league, varsity football, and now a lot more of the players are ready now. You know, they are coming in, they are starting to play. Ntokozo came in today in the second half. Ipochi started to play. You know, Neo today not feeling well, so he's on the stands. But a lot of the guys are starting to come back, so we are getting to full strength bit by bit. And the competition for places is getting tougher as well. Starting to ask questions of the coach as well, you know, because everyone is fighting for that slot, and now to make a 20 is becoming more difficult, you know, when you look at the players in the stands. But yeah, it is what it is. I always tell them the work you put in at training will put you in on match day. It's as simple as that. So the guys are in the right spirits and they're working hard. Yeah.
Coach Karabo, you made those 3 changes at halftime, and immediately they bear the results, because I think 2 minutes into the second half, you pushed, you got a penalty, and you equalized. Were there tactical changes to that? Because especially in the second half, there was a lot of support to Pogiso compared to the first half, where it was a bit isolated. There was not really a connection with the front 3. Were there tactical changes that you made?
Not necessarily tactical changes, but it's more player profiles, slightly different player profiles. Now we put in guys who can run beyond the lines, beyond the last line, guys who can get closer to the striker when needs be, and guys who are stable on the ball. While in the first half, we had guys who wanted to run more with the ball instead of, you know, going past the last line of defense. And it's evident with the goals, it's evident with how we play the counter-attacks as well, that we've got guys who are willing to basically make runs between the last line. And it's basically player profile, not necessarily tactical changes. Yeah, of course, it's tactical changes because it was like for like in order for us to gain a certain advantage, which was speed, aggression of runs beyond the last line, and obviously fresh legs because, yeah, as I mentioned, the recovery between the games, the Wednesday and Saturday game is harder than the recovery from Saturday to Wednesday.
Coach, if I remember correctly, you scored your second goal, I think, around the 71st minute. At that time, what was the approach? Was it to protect what we have, or let's try and go for more? And perhaps from my side, obviously with hindsight, what would have said, let's tighten up at the back, let's make sure that we protect what we have. What was the approach around the time?
Yeah, as I mentioned, with the turnaround time for recovery, we had to manage the squad because certain players were starting to tire. So prioritize certain positions, especially in the middle. And at the back, we made a slight change at the back to say our wing back must sit back, And we kept a mid block, which helps us with counter-attacks. And it helped quite a bit. We had a lot of good counter-attacks, which we should have punished, But yeah, of course, as I mentioned as well, the maturity, the maturity of some of the players in game management is things that can win you or lose you a game. The good thing is we did not lose this one because, fair enough, they had chances as well.
Yes.
They had chances to score, so we must not fool ourselves and say we had a brilliant game. Of course, they created chances. Our goalkeeper pulled out some top saves. But yeah, of course, you want to manage the game. You want to lock the result. But you also cannot sit back too low to invite them into your box because anything can happen from there. So yeah, of course, the tactical adjustments did happen, but yeah, it is not necessarily to sit back because you sit back, you get punished. Judging by the last goal they scored,
Yes.
It was us sitting back but not dealing with the flick, on the far post. So yeah, there are pros and cons to sitting back, and I think we did well overall to get the result that we got today.
Coach, thank you very much for your time, and hopefully as you go back to the training ground, you'll sort out the scoring issue.
The drawing board is getting bigger and bigger. We keep getting back to it. We must get bigger drawing boards.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.